Hello and welcome to. why is this?
You just turn into Mr. Show presenter.
No, yeah, you have to. All right, I'll start that again.
You are now listening to the Liberty Lies podcast. Twice as hot as your soup, and 3 times as steamy.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the LiesCast. Who would have thought it? Episode 3. We would have thought it. It was the plan all along.
3 is the magic number.
3 is the magic number. And there's 3 of us today, the same 3 as last time. So I'm joined with Shaun Richards, lead vocals of Liberty Lies.
Hello!
And, well, them all well aware. And Josh Pritchett of Guitar Duty.
Do what I just did.
Hello.
Oh.
I see you've set the bar too high.
I really wanted him to go, hello!
Set the bar too high, dude.
How's everyone doing? Blip, blip, blip. Yeah, I should say that in English, shouldn't I? How has everybody been doing?
Fantastic.
Good, man. Me and Shaun have been on a road trip this week.
Went to Cardiff with Ramesh, and it was really good. It's just stressful. Been a stressful month, eh?
It has, isn't it? Yeah.
It's been a bizarre month because that's what we'll talk about that. Let's talk about our month. So the last one we recorded in January, didn't we? Did we?
No,
February to
November.
March now.
No, we've had episode 2 since then.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the recording with Ramesh.
Oh no, sorry. So the last podcast we recorded February, start of February.
Yeah.
So since then, it's gone all chicken oriental mental, innit?
It has. Really has. We've had recording stuff and tours announced and fights and everything. It's just been weird, but everything seems to be back to normal and de-stressed now. Steve had a holiday and he feels better and everything's good.
I had a 2-day holiday.
Just better than 1 day.
It is better than Yeah, so we went back to Cardiff to record the album, to continue work on the album anyway, and then the bloody snow ruined it.
God hates us.
Spoilt the whole thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
So the beast from the east came over and shat all over Cardiff.
And it took me and Bill 7 hours to get home from Cardiff. And
Yeah.
it took these guys 2.5 hours.
Well, it didn't take you 7 hours from Cardiff. It took you 7 hours.
It's kind of like when to like a time warp and you guys come out quicker and then we just stayed there for like ages. And because I have broken heating in my van, we froze. It was like Jack and Rose from Titanic. It was like, goodbye. Bill got this like necklace and just chucked it out the window and went, oop, at the film.
But how's everyone feeling with the album so far?
Oh, it's the best thing we've ever done.
Yeah, it's...
Let's not be biased about it. This is our show, so let's talk honestly. It's incredible.
Well, we had a minor panic, didn't we, just before we went, as we because we've been so busy working on various different things and trying to get, like, being in a band's like, you have to run your own merch company, you have to run the business side of it, you have to run a production company and keep a regular stream of social media stuff, that sometimes we don't always get a chance to spend as much time as we like on the music. And we had, the week before we went, man, how many hours did we spend practicing?
Silly.
We've seen each other too much. I'll never say that because I love you all so much, but we've seen each other too much that week.
The day before we went to Cardiff, so on the Sunday, we were at the studio for 11 and left about 10:30 of the night, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was just like, even then I left thinking, well, it's too late now. If the songs ain't good enough.
You were stressing, man.
I was stressed. I'm a stressy kind of guy anyway. I worry about those things. But then from Monday afternoon, when all the drum parts were down and we'd done all the guide stuff, it was quite clear that we got something a little bit special, I think. I think
the last minuteness of it all kind of made it better.
Well, that's what happened with Beggar's Belief, didn't it?
Yeah, because we didn't think about it too much, I think.
It's only a couple of tracks as well.
Yeah,
the others
yeah.
Have been, like, methodically gone through.
But listening to it now, the newer tracks are my favourite ones. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because they're so last minute.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like we haven't thought about it too much, so it's kind of just naturally come out. And I think that's the best.
I like the mix of the two.
Yeah.
Well, without giving too much away, we've got on the album so far, there's the heavy song we've ever done, softest song we've ever done, longest song we've ever done, and then there's all kinds of manner of stuff in between. So I think there was, for a while, it seemed like, because initially when we did start writing, it was only going to be an EP, weren't it?
Yeah.
So then we've kind of, on this last section, we've let ourselves off the lead big time, and we've gone for the jugular, and we've outdone Reflections in every way. And I think you can, I hope everyone will be able to tell when they hear it that we're 3 years on from Fracture, and our ability playing's just gone through the roof, and it all just sounds like a class album.
I think so.
I agree.
We've got one more session left, haven't we?
Yeah,
in
we've
the
got
studio.
some. I don't want to give too much away. We've got some vocals left to do, and then that's it. That's a wrap on the old tracking.
It's very.
It's
exciting.
scary.
Does anyone else get nervous? Yeah, when we're
Yeah.
just about to finish.
You know what? I don't get nervous because I believe in everyone that much. Like, my nerves just go, and I'm just like, yes, this is. How incredible is this? Especially like everyone, like you said, everyone's individual parts. Bill coming to his own, Josh coming to his own, Steve Al coming to his own, even Miles. Miles has been incredible
Slapping the bass.
for his
man.
first sesh, and he's if you speak to him about it, he'd probably say, "Oh, I've learned so much in that," but he's handled it really well. So I'm proud of that kid.
And he's done loads of wicked keyboard layers as well, hasn't he?
Oh,
Yeah, man.
you know what? The fact that we've introduced keyboards into this album as well just makes it that much better.
Yeah, man. It's like just a new depth.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's stop teasing about the album, because it's still a long way away for the people. New music might be coming sooner than they think, but the album's still quite a way away.
That was such a tease as well, what you
know.
just said.
Well, they can live with it. Right, so as well as the album, we did give you the exclusive last time, but we've announced that we're going back on tour. So to anyone that might have missed that, we're going back on tour this month. Then towards the end of the month, isn't it? 24th?
24th.
Something like that.
24th.
We go back on tour with our friends in the Fallen State,
Fallen State!
and we're being joined by Psycho Village, who recently toured with Nothing More and our friends in Search of Sun
Speaking of nothing more, they're opening for Guns N' Roses.
How mad's that? Stuart, tell me that.
How
in
ridiculous.
Barcelona,
How ridiculous is that? I just
and
thought I'd
Five
show
Finger Death Punch in America.
They got it sorted out.
them. Yeah, about there. Fair play.
Yeah. So we've going back on tour. We're doing 9 dates, but we've also announced a couple of other dates for later in the year. So we're doing Viking Fest, which is in Wales, and Redemption. Fest, which is Wakefield. So if you're interested in coming to any of those, hit our Facebook up. It's got all the ticket information and whatnot there. And by the time our next podcast is done, we'll have seen you all and we'll have played, and it'll have been a lovely time for everyone.
And then we can talk about that.
We can have a conversation. First gig of the year as well. It's always a bit nervy, isn't it?
You know, I'm really...
So weird you're saying it first gig of the year. We've done so much and we haven't a gig yet.
Yeah,
That's mad.
We've even shared a stage with Chubby Brown.
we have.
Since the
Oh
last
my
time.
God, that was so shocking. So good though. But yeah,
In a weird way.
we can't repeat anything he said because we'll offend you all. But it was
Disgrace.
incredible.
It was a disgrace, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let's gloss over that
It was
one.
I was that shocked it was funny. You know what I mean? Like, I was in shock most of the time of the set. Good
Yeah.
though.
Bless him.
And we've also, over the last month, we gave you our first of the re-release packages. So we gave you all Day and Sun. We've done the Redux, which is basically, I don't even know what Redux is. I've just seen a lot of other bands use that word.
Yeah.
And basically, it was just Miles and Shaun. And everyone seemed to love that. I was really
Yeah, everyone
surprised
did
by how
that.
well it went down.
I can't believe the reception of that song. It's like it's just, I say, vocals and piano. It's like, I know the song does sound a bit more modern and more what we do now.
Yeah.
I think, but people digged it and downloaded it and played it, so it's all great. All good
Give
with
them
me.
a chance to, like, I think your voice sometimes is like surrounded by all of us. It kind of give you your own little spotlight, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Yeah, I love that.
And none of us were in the video, apart from, it was just the two of them.
It's really nice to sing over Miles's piano playing, because as a vocalist, there's loads of room to do stuff that you wouldn't normally do, and the timing wise, it's a constraint. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
kind of let rip, didn't you?
Yeah, on the one track, so it was good, really good. But
And
there
then
might be some piano tracks on, no one knows. Except
Apart
for
from
us.
the people that come to the Undivided Geek that definitely know.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
And then to March, where we've chosen to re-release Someone Else. So at the minute, we're going to be pushing that. We're going to be talking about that as one of the tracks off Reflections in this podcast. And we're going to attempt to do another Redux. We've got to find time somewhere.
I know.
There just is not enough time in a day to get all this stuff done and get ourselves tour tight.
Be a
Right,
huge
should
help.
we crack on?
Let's crack on, pal.
So let's take it back to the beginning with Reflections. So I remember writing the songs in our very first lock-up room where we had that massive stage and we had a titty wall.
The titty wall was
And
the
we had-
best.
We had a I don't even know what size it was. It was huge, wasn't it? An old geek poster of ours, and we turned it over and we just wrote 1 to 30.
Yeah.
And
man.
our job was to fill 30 spaces with new songs, and just filling that up with as many songs as we could to go on to what was to become Reflections, but we didn't know at the time. So we started that with the original lineup,
Yeah.
and we
That's-
brought in the person that, well, we auditioned for Wolfie's role and auditioned for Matt's role in that room with those songs on the board.
Man, like, so weird. You saying that now, I would never remember that.
Feels like a different world.
It's a different life, ain't there?
Yeah.
But so many of them songs were written in that room and written on that board. And
So-
it's ended up being in our set list for years.
The name that pokes out for me is Phobia. I just remember Phobia being written on that wall.
We're at number 17.
That was
Number
the one I was
17.
thinking of, number 17, because that literally, it was just,
What did
Yeah,
that turn
yeah.
into?
it was nothing.
Oh.
It was, no, it
No,
was.
the
It
middle
was
of Walk on
It was
Water.
Walk on Water, because
Middle bit.
it was the first song we ever wrote with Matt. I think we wrote it one of Matt's first practices. And was like,
I remember Josh
That double
freaking
kick-
out.
Double kick bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Josh freaking out. I need to change on my gear. I'm turning into a metal band.
Yeah.
because Matt was a big Avenged Sevenfold fan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that was when we went for our Avenged Sevenfold phase.
Yeah.
You know what? One of my overriding memories of the early Reflections phase was the things that we had to do to fund it. Because the goal at the outset of making Reflections was to not release another album like a load of unsigned bands had. So the plan was to go with a professional producer, which at the time not many bands were going with. Ramesh, were they?
No.
Well, not that I can remember around here at our level.
We wanted someone to do the artwork that no unsigned band had, so we had the guy who done Bring Me the Horizon, Young Guns,
Alexis on Fire.
Alexis on Fire, and we had him and paid a fortune for him.
Yeah.
We wanted someone to master the album that was out like above an unsigned band level, so we had the guy that done Michael Jackson, the Jackson 5 stuff, and a load of other stuff. So that was the goal. So when we budgeted, it was like, man, this is
We spent a fortune.
four out of the 5 of us were in uni, so
Yeah.
had no money and didn't have a job. So my memories were of us trying to make that money. So the first job we got was delivering Yellow Pages.
This is before we knew about pledge music and you know what I mean. So it was all literally getting our hands dirty, doing jobs. And I mean, I was at a well-known supermarket at the time as well. So well-known supermarket. Everyone knows what supermarket it was. Just tried to be profesh. And yeah, you guys worked in a warehouse for a while.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that
four
was-
four
that
of
was
us
after,
worked
wasn't
at a watch company.
Yeah.
But they were moving warehouse, so they just hired the 4 of us to basically stock take, move, stack, count. It's
I would have loved to have been there to watch that.
horrendous. Well, some days were horrendous, and other days there was just nothing to do. But working with Wolfie, man, it was exactly the same as being in the band. He just did nothing for like 2 whole weeks. But I still think the worst one was doing the Yellow Pages. That was literally thousands and thousands of Yellow Pages, delivering them door to door. And we had only got, someone luckily gave us them newspaper satchel holder
Oh,
things,
I remember that.
and we could fit
Bless
10
her.
Yellow Pages in at a time, and then you have to walk back to refill that 10. So things we do.
We
to
did
try and-
the unloading on the van, didn't we, as well?
Yeah.
Remember
Oh
that?
God, yeah. Oh, it was the lorry when they had that
That was it,
massive
yeah,
lorry,
yeah.
and me and you had to climb on it and just sling yellow pages at people.
She rang me this year.
She's rang me this year. She rang my mum and dad this year.
She it's bad because we needed money so bad. We said yes to everything. We became the go-to people who she'd asked to do stuff. We did.
Wasn't you Didn't you have your little Clio then as well?
Yeah. Yeah. We literally filled the back. So
I
there
can
was
imagine
no
just
space.
like it lowered
Yeah.
to the
And then
curb.
we could do 2 or 3 loads a day.
Before, and it was in the summer as well when it was roasting. Believe it or not, in England, but it was hot.
Yeah. Was that the Euros?
Yeah.
We were going place
World
bets
Cup.
and,
Yeah.
Good times.
Good.
Good
Well,
time.
times.
It's amazing how we've all changed in general since then.
Life's just
Yeah. Just all a little bit older now and a little bit
More senile.
more. Well, yeah,
stranger.
it's a bit stranger.
Right. So let's get on to some of the tracks then. So what's everyone's feelings towards Reflections as a whole?
I'll let you go first. John.
I said this in the last podcast when I listened to New Addiction again. Yeah, I'm really proud of it. There's some parts of genuine quality. I think songwriting, it's kind of like the start of where we are now, like how we shape songs and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I think for me, as a vocalist, I didn't really know what I was doing. This was the first full album we was doing, and I've never done that many tracks in one sitting, and I didn't really know what I was doing as a vocalist. I just got on stage and shouted down a mic. So it's kind of like what we was doing on that album was a lot different to what we was doing before that album, vocally. I think for me, I say New Addiction was a world of difference between the two, and I wasn't doing backing vocals at that point either. Steve-O and Matt, and did you do some?
Not on the Beggars EP.
Oh yeah, you're doing it with Matt O'Grady.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing backing vocals at all then, and now I do all the backing vocals on Fracture and on the new record. It's all me because I do know a bit more what I'm doing now. But like back then, it was scary because you walk into Ramish's studio. He has a Studio A, Studio B, and a live room. Studio B is where all the vocals happened, full of lights, massive microphone that's probably worth more than my life, and it was like, yeah, let's just go through the song. And bearing in mind, a lot of these songs wasn't played properly live at that point either. Like there was some we were playing for years, so I knew what I was doing. But yeah, it was proper scary for me. And like I can still hear little mistakes. People wouldn't necessarily pick them out, but for me, I can hear the little wavers of stuff, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that again because I'd sing it so much better now. But at the time, being so young, being an unexperienced, I think the album itself is wicked.
Things with your vocals, like, do you remember when Matt was getting you to sing something while he was playing on guitar and it just wouldn't click for a while?
It just wouldn't click, yeah. But like thinking now, it probably would naturally.
It would just
come out, yeah, because we was going through a transformation ourselves as a band.
Yeah,
I think at that point, I think it was all getting our feet. The blues in us kind of was gone.
Yeah.
At that point, and like for me, I was a massive fan of Thunder and that before all that. So it was just blues vocals, and I know you was a massive blues fan yourself.
Well, yeah.
Like guitar wise,
Yeah.
It was just a massive change. We was heading towards more of that alternative vibe.
So what was everyone listening to around that time? Because for me, that was, I know we said it before that we'd had like the Blackstone Cherry and the Shinedown thing from that, but obviously in that time, in the time between New Addiction and Reflections, we toured with Shinedown.
Yeah.
And I remember just watching them every night and watching the crowd's reaction and going, man, we need a song like this. And for me, the main one that sticks in my head was when they played Enemies, which at the time was a brand new song. Their album with that on wasn't out. So we were watching that and the people jumping, so we're like, we need a song like this. And we sat down and wrote Curtain Call.
Yeah.
Which, again, is us trying to copy a similar kind of thing, but to a lesser quality. But
Yeah.
I think Fair to Midland had started to creep in, the band.
I definitely think musically, Fair to Midland, guitar wise, and
Yeah, man.
that was definitely there.
there's just a lot more alternative influences coming as opposed to the standard.
I think because there's such a gap between New Addiction and Reflections, the Shinedown thing like kind of came and went, didn't it? I mean, there's still like a lot of things you can kind of point to and say are influenced by Shinedown, but that I don't think they ever stuck. There wasn't enough depth in Shinedown to kind of stick with us. Somewhat like Fair to Midland are still a huge influence on all of us today. Stuff like Seven Dust, the Cold Day Memory album, that
Incredible
was,
album.
I think for every one of us, just a huge... the Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy as well, I think that was a huge influence on all of us.
Yeah.
The first Nothing More album as well, with
Burn the Witch.
Bullets and Blue Eyes,
Yeah,
and that kind of thing was a big... Like, finding... I think that's when I started looking not at what bands Kerrang and Planet Rock told you to, but going and finding for yourself, like looking on YouTube and going through the rabbit hole to find new bands.
I remember listening to Heaven's Basement a lot back then. Like the... what was their album called now? Dirty Empire.
Filthy
Empire. That was around the same time as that one.
The
single come out...
The NEP.
Do you remember when we was in Cardiff and we was just leaving? We was just leaving to go to Ramesh and record. About 9:30 in the morning, Scuzz was on. We was all living in this apartment, and Scuzz was on. We was just about to leave. And I remember we just turned our heads round, and Heaven's Basement, Fire,
yeah,
was on the TV.
Which is crazy because at that point we'd played shows.
Yeah, I remember this. This is just mad. I remember. I remember we was at Shinedown. We was in Nottingham, and Heaven's Basement were there, and they come backstage. And we was having a little chat to them, and they were talking about how they'd been signed by Red Bull and stuff. Oh no, they hadn't been signed, but this time they were saying, "Oh yeah, we got Red Bull sniffing about and stuff." And we were all a bit like, "Yeah." And after they'd gone, we was talking. We was like, "Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
That's too big."
They even got a singer.
Yeah, they didn't have a singer at that point.
That ain't gonna happen. And then, yeah, we're in Cardiff doing our album, and then Fire comes on.
Massive
and the production.
Massive production.
Is in that bloody...
the video was in America. It looked incredible.
Was it a junkyard or something like that?
Yeah, but it was like the desert, and he had this leather jacket on. I was thinking, were you what?
And these was like 3 or 4 blokes that they were sitting in our dressing room on the Shinedown tour.
Well, we was the one who put them on the guest list.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
all right,
nuts.
Josh.
No, but I mean, it's just insane.
Crazy.
Insane to think.
Right, so let's talk about the producer then. So this was our first time going to Ramesh Dodingoda. How did everyone find his influence for the first time?
I think the first time for me it wasn't as influential because, as I say, I'd just done the lead vocals and Matt Cummins done the backing vocals, but like we didn't seem to have that chemistry then during Reflections. I'm gonna be. I don't really think he liked what we was doing.
No,
because at that point there wasn't much singing. If you listen to Reflections, there wasn't much singing on the Reflections.
We didn't give him an easy job. We literally booked 2 weeks. He hadn't heard any of our stuff.
We was unprepared as well.
We went down, and then we did the songs.
Yeah.
There wasn't much he could really do to change it because
we was young and
we had 2 weeks
stubborn.
to do like 10 songs.
Yeah. We want this 7-minute guitar solo here. You know what I mean?
And there was no real singing on it, was there? We had so much spaces because at that time when we were writing, we had a big sofa, didn't we, in the lockup? So you go and sit on the sofa, and we just dick about for an hour writing music, and then we're like, well, don't worry about singing over this part. We'll just rock out.
Oh yeah.
And we just did that. So I think, really, in hindsight, we would have hoped that Ramesh would have gone, yeah, maybe don't do that. But we just recorded it as it was. But it sounded massive, and obviously it was a huge step up from anything we'd done before. And it gets you proper buzzing, doesn't it, when you hear your songs back for the first time.
It's really nice to hear people talk about Reflections and talk about individual songs, saying how much they love you.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Because at the time, I don't really remember people doing that. I think it's took all this time for people to, like it like we did at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it was before its time.
It's nice to hear. I've had people talk to me about stuff like Walk on Water and saying what an incredible song
That's
that
my
is.
favourite song on the album.
People talk about how much like hope and faith means to them.
Yeah.
I think it's
We was emotion then. Some emotion songs, man.
There's some really like. That's why I've always felt like I wanted to talk about Reflections more, because there's some really big stories and really big things on there that I think we wrote above our age, because we were in our early 20s when we done Reflections.
I was 21. I turned 21
Oh yeah.
while we was recording Reflections.
Yeah, and we there's a story there somewhere.
21, young.
Yeah, there's I forgot what I was saying now. Totally gone.
You were just thinking about.
I'm
the
thinking of the
stories.
story. I am.
We went out and had a good time. That's all we could say.
What would you say to us if we could record it again? If you could go back just before we was about to record it, what would you say to us?
I'd be like, lads, you got to sing a lot then. You're letting him sing a lot. What's going on?
I think I'd say go save it a bit, go back in the practice room, take out what you don't need. Do you need a Spanish guitar breakdown? Do you need a jazz breakdown?
Oh, man.
Do you need to have a quote from Phantom of the Opera?
Yes.
Was that still
We did need that.
Okay.
The thing we didn't need was the Irish jig after it.
But yeah, I think that's what I would say. I love the album. I still do. I still listen to it. I listen to this more than I listen to anything else from our back catalogue.
Yeah.
And it was all of our first albums. None of us have done an album before this. And you always do want that to be your... You want to be proud of it, don't you? And we were completely, as we are now, on our own. We had no manager, we had no agent or anything like that. So there was no one else to go, yeah, maybe rethink that. But now, as we're older and we've toured and we know what works and you can see what you're supposed to do, I'd change it. Because trying to choose a single was a bloody nightmare, wasn't it?
It was. It really was.
I
I mean, Someone Else is a banging tune, but there's bits in it that don't need to be there. Realistically, we could have done a radio edit to that song and people would have still loved it. Like, some Phobia. We don't play Phobia. Phobia's a banger. But, like, you don't think about it, yeah?
I think at that point, it's still a problem now. For some reason, we've got an inability to write a bridge.
Yeah.
Like, Phobia, and a lot of the songs like this, Someone Else is the same, I think. Sick, and then the bridge comes and it turns into a different song.
Yeah.
There's some...
You know why, though? I think because we try and avoid convention. So rather than going, well, this is what every other band in the world would do, so let's not do that.
There's a reason why they're doing it.
Let's make it sound like we've gone to Spain.
Well, we actually went to another producer, didn't we, for a while, and we was just demoing, and he was amazing, sick. But we did one of our tracks, and he mentioned to try and do something more conventional, and I think once we did it and listened back to it, it sounded like every other band.
Yeah.
We've played with and talked with, and
It made us feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of, I do, like you said, I feel uncomfortable when we play something that everyone else would play. I don't know why.
Yeah. I think that's down on us, though. That's not, if you're in a band and you're going to do something conventional, you go do it. But we have a problem.
But you know what? I think some people really love the expansiveness of it, and that it was proper. If you want to know what Liberty Lies sound like unfiltered and what our five minds would make without someone questioning us, it's Reflections. So Fracture, which we'll come to on the next podcast, removed all of that. Probably too much. Our new album, why I think our new album's going to be so good is because we've refined it. So we've took everything that makes Liberty Lies good and just made sure that it all works.
I think, an Irish jig would be sick here. we think, does the whole song need an Irish jig?
Yeah.
So, what is... Let's go round again. So, least favourite song?
For
Sean?
me, Curtain Call.
Yeah? Any
I
reason why?
Just melodies and all that stuff that we wouldn't do anymore. I think for me, I mean, it's a good song for that kind of band, but I think that's probably the farthest away to the rest.
Curtain Call was more Matt than
Yeah.
anyone else. When I listen to that, I don't hear us. I hear more of his kind of taste in music.
Can we share the story of the huge argument that came around Curtain Call?
Yeah, well, this is a good point. This is a good, perfect time
Yeah.
to put it in, I think.
So, everyone who's listened to Reflections and listened to Curtain Call, you know that there's a slide guitar part.
And it goes like this.
in the
Ready?
middle.
Ready? That's the slide.
And there was something that Josh wanted to do, wasn't there? That you'd been listening to, because you've always, and we've mentioned this before, but your background in music comes from blues guitar,
Yeah.
doesn't it? So you wanted to do something that this blues guitarist had done.
The song for me, at that moment in time, I wasn't a big Kill Switch fan. I liked them, but I was still listening to people like Derek Trucks and
Walter Trout.
Walter Trout and that kind of bluesy stuff. Robin Treuer as well. When we were doing this,
They all sound like garden tools.
But yeah, so when we was doing this track, it come to the middle section, and I think we all agreed on doing a slide part, but we left it to the studio to do it.
Which was a big mistake.
And in my head, I had this kind of Derek Trucks. I don't think that was the one that actually he did make it on the record.
Did
but
it not?
No,
It did?
It did.
It did.
So what was the one on the record?
The one that's on the record. No, that's
Sing it?
one. No,
Oh.
Josh's wasn't that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it was. And
I was doing vocals at this point, I think, so
Yeah,
I
you
wasn't
were.
listening.
yeah. We've actually got it recorded somewhere.
Oh,
Video.
Sunday fun day. Anger.
It wasn't a fun
No,
day.
it's not a fun
It was
day.
not a fun day.
But yeah, me and Matt just disagreed, and it was just one of them things where, it was quite a tense time anyway. He had a different vision than what I had. I think he said a hick blues slide or something like that.
I think it was his unwillingness to... You wanted to try it, and I think that's... Since then, we've all been like, if you've got an outlandish idea, we'll try it first, and then we'll all tell you it's shit. Not just you, everyone.
Yeah.
So
We are bash-
is that your least favourite song, Josh?
Yeah.
That's yours. Well, it's mine as well.
Oh.
So that was, I really didn't think that
we
would
haven't
be everyone's...
we haven't spoke about this.
No, I thought... I knew it was going to be mine before when I've thought about it, but I didn't think it'd be everyone else's.
Yeah.
Well, quite a distance as well.
Yeah.
There's
Well, what's second then, just off the top of your head? See, there's a couple of songs
It's hard now.
on the album that we never play.
Spoken Silence for one.
But I love Spoken
It's a tune.
Silence. Spoken Silence isn't my
Just-
favourite, but it's one of my favourites. That's one of them. If I could cut that down, I think that could have been a single if we'd have.
That was a massive
Sure
Alter Bridge
what
Yeah, it was.
what's one of
influence as
your
well.
other ones
Least
that you don't
favourite.
like then? Yeah.
See, it's not that I dislike it, but I think Blind to the Blind could have been done a lot better.
Yeah.
It was quite avenged, I think.
Chinese Democracy.
You reckon?
I think the melody was lacking on that. A bit. I don't think it worked out.
You know who
enough on
else
the
was
melody.
listening to it at that time? Black Tide.
Black
Because they
Tide.
kept on doing all that Spanish
Spanish
guitar
stuff, yeah.
But the thing is, they are like Hispanic, so it's acceptable.
We're from the Black Country. We've nothing Spanish
But
at
we've
all.
just been to Spain on holiday for a week. That's it.
Not even like rural Spain, like holiday Spain.
Yeah, it's basically England in the sun. So what's everyone's favourite song then? Of Reflections. I'd be very surprised if this is the same. And I'm not entirely sure I've made my mind up. So ask me again in a month's time, and I reckon I'll have changed it.
I think for me, just because it's a banger, like a heavy song, even though it has like a weird, again, it's got like a weird. What's that slow bit in Walk on Water? What's really weird? They need to be there.
No.
But as a song, I think Walk on Water, we've never played it live with Bill. That's another thing, which is scary because it's a tune.
It is
And
true.
I think the hype of the intro, and it's just like, it just goes in with that riff. It still excites me now.
Josh?
it's so difficult because even though I love the rest of the songs, every one of the songs I would change now.
Yeah.
So I think
I agree.
for me, Beggar's Belief is awesome. I just think that middle bit again.
Yeah.
That middle bit, I don't understand why we put that in. We
No.
could have had a sick bridge.
The end bit of the original, luckily, that didn't make the album. If anyone... Actually, it's still on Spotify, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
If you go to the Confessions of an Effigy single, Beggar's Belief was the B-side, and there's like a 2-minute long outro that just should have never, ever been there.
Though the bass playing was beautiful on there.
Yeah, but
With Wolf.
that was Wolfie's time to shine, that was.
Yeah. Yeah, Beggar's Belief. We worked so hard on them lyrics.
We did.
I think I would be happy to put that on any of our records we've ever done. With
if we
with
change
minor
it,
changes,
Yeah.
but like melody is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything on it, like even the recording of the track
See,
is
that's-
clear.
To me, that's the kind of idea we got from Fair to Midland.
Yeah,
Whereas, and that's the kind of things I listen to at home on my own. I don't really
I
listen
think we
to
wrote
Shaun
that
and
way
Josh.
too early.
Yeah,
for
I think
us.
we did.
You know what I mean? But yeah, that's a tune. What's yours?
As I say, I keep flipping, but I think I'm going to go with the title track, Reflections. Just because...
Is there anything you change?
Yeah, a lot of it. But I still like it. I think it's got a nice vibe to it. That was the last song we wrote for it,
Yeah.
and
I
I'd-
re- Go on.
I'm a big Thin Lizzy fan, and I think that's the closest thing we've got on the record. to
I really
something
loved the
like that.
version we did at the Undivided gig with the acoustic.
Yeah, stripped back.
Just stripped back
Yeah,
and
man.
like there wasn't no messy and it was just the melody and the music and it sounded beautiful and the audience singing it back as well. I remember I forgot who the woman was. There was one in the audience. She was just belting it out.
Yeah.
Like all I could hear was her, and you was banging the drums right behind me, and she was the loudest thing, and it kind of made me cry. But yeah, Reflections.
Sweet. Let's wrap that up then and move on to our fans' question and answers. So, once again, we asked everyone on the group to send us some questions over, and we've got 3 questions today.
That's
So
pathetic, by the way. There's 300 and odd people on that group, and 3 people ask questions. Get on with it. Sort yourselves out.
So the
Ask more
first,
questions.
first one comes from Reece Sargent, who asks, Rob Halford from Judas Priest or Corey Taylor from Slipknot?
Shall we
Who
all
is
say it
better?
together? 1, 2, 3.
Corey
Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
Uh,
yeah, it's by far.
by
isn't it?
far. Definitely. That was amazing. We all said that at the same
You
time.
thought that was-
You know what? I think Corey Taylor would get very close in my... You know, when you put your dream band together? Because he can do the heavy and he's got a beautiful... Have you heard him
Singing
do
voice.
Wicked Game by Chris
Yeah,
Isaac?
yeah.
Man,
Stunning.
he can sing.
Yeah. And he seems like an awesome dude as well.
Yeah.
Like he don't
Have you
come
heard that
across
Christmas
as a-
song that
Yeah.
Stone Sour did?
Oh, he done one on his own,
Oh,
didn't
is
he?
that on his
Solo
own?
Was
one,
it
yeah.
Merry Christmas My Arse or something? No,
Yeah,
that was
it-
that's a Royal Family.
No, he did do something like that.
Yeah. My ass.
Yeah.
My
Um,
arse.
Let's crack on, because I think we've jabbered a bit.
Okay.
So, the second question comes from Donna Berkey. Who is your dream band to tour with? Now, we can't say this one together, because this is definitely going to be
Different, yeah.
different.
Dead or alive?
It's Dream Band.
Dream
so-
bands.
Oh, okay. You can go first then.
Well, my answer's easy. My dream band to tour with would be Thin Lizzy. Which we did get to... I got to meet 2 of them when we toured with Shinedown and met them in Amsterdam. And I was really uncool because I met him, and then my dad is like a massive Thin Lizzy fan as well. And he was outside, and I ran to go and grab him. And by the time we got back, they'd gone. Which was
I
terrible.
remember your voice going really high.
Yeah, my voice was high. But who expects to meet Thin Lizzy in a backstage area in Amsterdam?
Yeah,
mad, yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Thin Lizzy's mine. Sean?
I think for me, we saw it the other day. Foo Fighters and Queens of the Stone Age touring together.
That is.
Imagining opening for that, like that'd be the biggest gig we'd ever do, ever. Like, and I'm a massive fan of Queens of the Stone Age anyway, but just to tour with Dave Grohl, I think it'd be fun.
Anyway, Queens or Foos?
Mastodon. Mastodon would be quite cool.
Yeah, Mastodon.
I'll say
It depends what era Mastodon though, because we'd get bottled.
Emperor Sand
Yeah.
I think it's hard because what you're listening to at the moment is your dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I'm listening to a lot of Mastodon at the moment, so I'll say Mastodon.
Josh?
Because
Hans Zimmer.
Gandhi.
Gandhi.
Just walking around with him.
Yeah, it's really difficult because I'd love to do an arena tour. So any band like Foos, Queens would
Biffy.
be incredible. Biffy. But, man, imagine touring with Fair to Midland.
We'd be in awe every night.
Man, the guy is just...
People are going to be thinking, who's listening to this, who's this Fair to Midland? No one's ever heard of Fair to Midland.
Well, the good news is we always accompany every podcast with a Spotify playlist. So on that Spotify playlist, what song will we have on, Josh?
Shop Tools.
Shop Tools.
You're good, you am. Well, you just slipped that in there.
Oh,
Fair
smooth.
play to you.
Smooth. So accompany. Well, you need to subscribe to the playlist anyway because we update it every month with songs that we've discussed. And I reckon that there's bound to be something new. And even if you listen to a load of stuff with our three eclectic minds. And next episode, Bill's going to be on.
Oh,
so
banging.
he's even more eclectic than us.
Yeah.
And then the one after that, we might get Miles on.
Oh
And
my god.
don't listen to him. He's into all kinds of rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gonna
So
tell
who
him
did
you
you
said that.
say Fair to Midland?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, take Fair to Midland.
We was going to support Fair to Midland in Sheffield before they broke up, which is crazy.
That is mad to think, here.
And like that
And
would have
then-
changed our lives.
And then we was going to nick their tour and tour with Evanescence.
Yeah, and they didn't turn out well, did it?
No. We got close.
But really, we had a reply back.
No, we
There's
had a
phone calls?
thing saying that we were next in line. That we were like the second,
That would have been good, wouldn't it?
and we hugged in celebration that we were going to do it, and it just never came off.
Yeah.
More
true
of tragic tales.
True liberalised
I'm sure
fashion.
there was a circle jerk at some point as well.
Yeah, there always is a circle jerk. Right,
Oh,
so
memories.
let's head to the final part of the show. The Spotify game.
Yay! What's the score overall?
We're missing a question.
I mean, we haven't. Oh, sugar!
You missed Marco out.
I'm
Can you
so
miss
sorry, Mark. You know
out?
what? I scrolled, and I shouldn't have scrolled.
Listen to his name, Marco Rockworth.
Pretty cool name.
He's worth the rock,
He's worth the rock.
and he's Scottish.
I'm sorry, Marco. Anyway, who are our biggest influences?
In what? Life? Music?
That's the question.
Fashion?
So,
Food? Ronald McDonald?
Let's say musical.
Musically, for me, everything that comes out of my mouth musically at the moment sounds like Josh Homme of Queen's This Day and Age, which is a real ball ache when you're writing an album and you're trying not to rip off people. So, yeah, I'd say Josh Homme for me, which is quite annoying. How about you, Adam?
I thought about this answer last night. Right. So, my drumming, I learnt to be the drummer that I am through classic rock. It's because when you're young, you don't listen to, obviously, the stuff that's out now didn't exist. So, I grew up wanting to be like Thin Lizzy. Like, I didn't want to be the drummer of AC/DC, but I wanted to be in a band like AC/DC.
Maiden.
Black Sabbath, Maiden, all of those bands, Guns N' Roses. So from like 14 to 17, that's what I wanted to be like. And then now, it's all modern stuff. So my style and influence comes from the past, but is now
Someone's just
based on the future. Someone's knocked on the door. Forgot where I was. Influences. So
Yes.
yeah, so some of the old, some of the new. New bands. You know what? Tool are massive at the minute
Yeah.
for me. I was
doing
like
a new album as well.
I know, yeah. I only really listened to 10,000 Days as well, but a lot of people say that's not the worst one, but it's not one of the better ones.
Yeah. We was discussing this in the van the other day.
Yeah, man.
Josh's favourite and my favourite Deftones song
Is the one with
is the one
Maynard.
with
Yeah.
Maynard singing the chorus. Because they wouldn't sing that chorus. He wrote that
My
chorus, you
favourite
can tell.
part of any Deftones song is the chorus that Maynard sings on Passenger.
that's mine too, but I like Deftones anyway.
Yeah.
I think Deftones are sick, but
The fact that Maynard sing that chorus made it your favourite.
Oh yeah, he's next level. I think to be fair, he could sing in any band with the best part of their song.
He's just weirdly wonderful. Like Phoebe from Friends. He's like the vocal version of Phoebe's character.
he's a beautiful, beautiful man.
Josh,
Same as you.
A lot of the stuff him doing on the new record, no spoilers, is very what's in fashion now.
Well, see,
And because it's come around again.
the guitar solo is back.
It is.
I was playing a guitar solo, and you just turned around and went Mastodon, and I was like, I can't. I've listened to Mastodon. The last album was banging, but for me, I can't hear it as that because I'm hearing it as
What you was influenced by
You know
in the
what,
first place.
I just hear it as it just sounds like me playing guitar. That's all I think. I was saying anything.
Yeah, well, it
particular.
sounds fucking sick.
I think me and you, Josh, we have a thing where a new thing will come out and we'll have a bit of a craze on it and we'll be like we had Don Broco once when their new album came out. It was like, man, that album is superb.
We kind of like bank it, don't we? So like we'll get mad on it and then we'll put it in the back of your mind. And then when something comes up, it's like you just pick from it.
Yeah.
So you pick a bit from Don Bronco.
Don Bronco.
It's
a new one.
And then you pick a little from Fair to Midland, and then you get whatever we do.
You know what's in my car today? Zach Brown.
Awesome. Do you know what we listened to on the way to Cardiff?
That was very aggressive.
Folklore and Superstition.
And it was
incredible. And it was incredible.
And Shaun knew every word to every song.
I didn't know. I ain't listened to it since.
And from that, we're going to go deep into the Spotify game.
Let's go.
Let's get it done.
You won one.
And you won.
Yeah. Is this the decider?
This is the decider till Bill comes.
I've had some difficulty because, for those who don't know, I choose the bands. And I know you both very well. And I know that song titles aren't your greatest forte.
It's terrible with me.
So,
awful.
I'm trying to choose two bands that you've got to choose A or B, and you'll both know them, is a nightmare. So
we have quite different tastes in some aspects as well.
Yeah.
I also used my choices from Marco's question. So two of the bands that have influenced us a lot over the last 2 years or so. I was just about to say, but she's going to ruin it all.
Oh.
So, who chose last time?
Me.
You. Shaun, A or B?
B.
B. You're going to regret that. B is Coed and Cambria.
Fuck, they've got so many songs.
They got
oh my god!
This is,
I'm dead. I'm dead in the water.
Josh,
I love Coed though.
You're going to wish you switched. You've got Queens of the Stone Age.
You son of a bitch.
Man, see, that's difficult.
See, that's good though, because if we swapped,
yeah.
it'd probably be a draw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
so, like,
God.
because you had a massive Coed lately as well.
Yeah.
So, this is going to be interesting.
Right. So, Shaun chose. Josh, do you want to take the first shot?
Yeah.
So, if for anyone that doesn't know, they've got to try and guess 5 out of the top 10 songs ranked on Spotify. And the first one to 5 wins, but if it takes ages, we'll just see.
Well, number 1 is going to be No One Knows.
Correct. Number 1 is No One Knows with 81 million plays. Can I also say as well how many more plays Queens have got over Coed?
Ridiculous.
Like, Coed have been going for years. And
very niche kind of band, though.
Yeah, they've got quite a cult following though. Like, people are quite strong.
Yeah.
Fans.
They don't tour around in this country that often now.
No.
It's a shame.
Coed, Shaun?
I'm going to go with The Suffering.
The Suffering is number 2 with only 11 million plays.
That's ridiculous. I'd
It is
love
really
11
bad.
million plays, though.
I was going to say.
Next, Josh, Queens of Stone Age.
It goes off the newest album as well, doesn't it?
Yep.
I can't remember any song title. I'm trying to think now.
Hard,
is
isn't
it called First It Giveth?
That's off.
That's not off the new album.
No,
That's
no.
Songs for Death.
That's got to be
It
on
is
there,
called
though.
that. It's not on there.
What?
I'm so sorry. Shaun?
I'm going to go with Wake Up.
Wake Up is number 4 with 5 million plays.
5 million.
It's such a good song as well.
It is. It's such a good song. Back to Josh. So, Shaun is 2-1 up.
Sat by the Ocean.
I Sat by the Ocean is number 4 with 39 million plays.
39 million?
How mad.
That wasn't even a single?
Jeez.
And Coed's Wake Up has got 5 million. What a joke.
It is a joke. I'm going to go with... Come
on.
It's really hard. There's so many Coed songs
There's
that won't be on there.
There's one that, you should get straight away.
What would they end with?
Oh, I know what song you're on about. But I'm trying to think... Hello. I'm trying to think of the name. I know the riff.
Okay, I'll give you that one because you know it anyway.
I know the song.
It's Welcome Home.
Welcome home.
Yeah, you can have that one.
Is it in?
Let you have it. That was another knock on the door. Back to Josh.
Was that in the? What number was that?
That was number one with. Sorry,
Yeah.
Welcome Home. Number one with 36 million plays. The
You
knock at the door.
deserve some help now, though.
Knocked
To
me
be
off.
fair.
Well, I'm trying to think of the names. I don't want to pick stuff off vampires.
I would pick the
Pick
latest.
stuff off vampires, Josh.
Oh, okay, vampires.
Hang on, is vampires the latest one?
No,
No.
Oh, don't pick stuff off vampires.
it's villains, the latest one.
I think there is a couple of you.
Um,
What was their single
hang
for the
on.
latest one?
Yeah, I'm just trying
That's
to think.
your clue.
I'm trying to think the chorus. I can hear it in my head at the start.
We've
Shall
seen the
we
video.
articulate?
Hang on.
Sing it, and I'll give it you if you can sing it. Name the tune.
Da, 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 when she was 17.
Yeah, so
I'll
that
sing it.
one
You can
is
Mate,
The Way
they
You Used to Do.
That's the one.
That's got 30 million plays. 30 million
I just
plays.
said fuck a duck.
3-0. So we are 3-3, is it? Oh,
3-2.
Sean's got to have a go in there.
Yeah.
Sean, to go back into the lead.
Okay, let's rock this. You ready?
Ready? Think Planet. Planet is a local rock club that used to play this all the time.
I'm going to say Here to Mars because I think that's a tune.
All right, then nothing to do with Planet, but yes, that is in there at number 8.
Planet. I like it.
that wasn't what I was saying at all. It worked quite nice. Yeah, Here to Mars, number 8 with 5 million. I can't get over these plays, man.
Such a good band. You all need to listen to Coed and Gambria.
You do.
Yeah, banging.
Josh, back to you.
Oh, I'm doing really poor today. There's a Fortress.
Yeah, good shot. 8. Number 8, Fortress with 7 million plays.
Sean Richards, you ready?
Shaun Richards.
Running Free.
Dun dun. Dun dun. Dun dun. No.
Oh,
I was a bit surprised at that one.
Coming home.
Cheesy.
So that means
That's a tune.
so you've both had 5 shots now.
So is it?
You're both on 4-4. So you've both got one more chance to get it. Whoever.
Whoever gets the highest one.
Well.
Whoever gets the lowest one.
Pointless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's difficult here.
So we're going to wrap it up with this one. So we're not going to. So whoever
Yeah,
gets the
this
highest scoring one.
is to decide
Yeah.
all.
Although you've got a bit more of an advantage because Sean's already took out 3 of the top 5.
That's true.
Yeah, but we want to get the lowest one, don't we?
Are you going for the lowest one?
Yeah.
Lowest
Oh.
score.
What a bizarre thing to do. Go on then, Josh. You got to get one first.
See, that's the tricky thing. So I was thinking, would a hanging tree be on it?
It's a tune.
But
I thought that was your answer then.
no.
Was you reading my body language?
Yeah,
You
from
stole
from
that
Steve-O's body language, I better change that.
out. Whatever.
Hang on, it's in my head.
Get it out your head and into the microphone.
It's the one that was always on Kerrang.
Uh-huh.
And the piano, dun 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 dun, all the way through the verse.
Some
hang on.
people normally
Go
call
with the flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. And are you aiming to go low?
The lowest one.
You're going to go low with the flow. Yeah?
Yeah, go with the flow.
Well, at number 7,
Oh.
Go with the flow is in there. 34 million plays.
My turn.
So, does Sean want to ideally get lower than 7? Is that
Yeah.
is that the
Yeah.
game we're playing here?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Juggernauts.
Juggernauts. Do you want to have another think, Sean? Because
Is it a different name?
no, it's just not in there.
Oh, is it? No. Well, that's how low it is. It's
It's very low.
Top
Yeah,
10.
you got it. Yeah. He's a
Oh, wait,
fox
okay,
to
wait
there.
there.
Just give him another shot here. Another single off the last album.
Totally forgot the name.
Second song.
Oh, Eraser.
No, it wasn't. It was
Spirit.
You Got Spirit Kid. I was trying to say.
Was that the lowest one?
No, that was number 9. Number
Oh.
10 was Crossing the Frame.
Never
Which
heard of it.
it's only got 2 million plays, so it's basically unheard of.
I bet Feathers. Hold on.
Nope. Right, so I'm going to go through this. Josh
Who's it
won.
on?
Anyway, so 2-1 to Josh.
Banging.
So next episode,
Well done, chap.
we're going to have a new contender for one of you. So it depends. I don't know.
Well,
who's gonna do it.
it'd be winner stays on, wouldn't it? If Josh won, he should stay
Okay,
on.
well, Bill. All right then. Bill, join us next time.
Boom.
So Sean gets a rest.
Yes.
Right,
That was
so
really hard because Coed names and not rememberable.
What about
So,
hang on, sorry. You know, with the Coed, off the first album.
Yeah.
What's the part? Hang on, the party one.
Oh,
yeah, the Planet song.
That's
Flavour House Rock.
Atlantic.
A Flavour House Atlantic.
That's
Yeah.
Planet.
That's
Is that what you're
Planet.
talking
That was what I was on
about?
about.
Yeah.
That's the song they always play. I remember hearing that and going, "Who's this?
Yeah.
Sounds like a woman."
Next week we'll be doing Dragon Force and someone else.
Yeah. So for the Queens of the Stone Age ones we didn't get. Number 3 was Feet Don't Fail Me.
Feet don't fail me now.
Number 5 was The Evil Has Landed.
That's the intro.
Number 6 is Domesticated Animals.
Oh, I like that song as well.
Number 9 was Head Like a Haunted House.
Head like a haunted house.
And number 10 was Unreborn Again.
I can't remember that one, but it's a tune.
And the Coed ones, Favourite House Atlantic. Number 5 was 10 Speed of God's Blood
10
and
Speed!
Oh shit.
The best one! 10 Speed! Heart.
Number 6 was Blood Red Summer. Number 7 was In Keeping Secrets of Silence Earth Part 3.
See what I mean? Can you see what trouble I had?
Number 9 was You Got Spirit Kid. And number
Spirit
10
Kid.
was Crossing the Frame.
Hey man, is there any song off there, off the double album?
Thingy
With
Man.
Domino.
No one liked that, you
The
know.
Ascension.
I love that.
Descension.
I loved it as well.
What was that? All of you.
Well, they're more rushing to their Spotify now to listen to that one.
With that one with the really staccato.
Hard Sell.
Hard sell.
Hard sell. Right. So, thank you very much for listening once again. We're off to go and practice now for our tour if our other 2 bandmates that are ever turn up on time.
They're jerks.
Well, we've managed to time it so we told them 9 o'clock. It is now 3 minutes past 9, so they should be waiting outside for us as we speak.
They will not be.
So, once again, thank you for listening. We do really appreciate it. Keep your comments coming in. We want some more comments next time. We want some more questions and
Yeah, man.
fun stuff.
Just be bold. Just be bold.
Yeah,
Be
man.
bold, people, and tell us how you feel. Go into detail about the albums, about what you think of us.
And
Just fucking do it.
we'll see you all on the tour in
March and April.
March
Yeah,
and
man.
April.
Nice one, guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you very
listening.
much.
Thank you very much. See you soon.